Hey guys, good evening and welcome to the Eldar Sim PJ Parcels GR3 League. And yes, it is the one and only Hoppers yet again in the commentary box. How we're doing, good afternoon, good morning or good evening, depending on where you're watching the stream, and it is going to be very interesting here at Dragon Trails on the Garden Circuit for, I believe this is now round number 5 of the season, and it is going to be very close and probably very exciting. I'll go through the points very shortly, ready to get ready for qualifying, but I'll go through the points very quickly before qualifying does actually happen. And yes, it has been as we had Yaguma and Magaibi last week over in Japan. So we'll go through the points, and it is closed, kind of, the championship was closed up yet again. But it is going to be very interesting as we go into Dragon Trails here in Croatia this evening. As I say, PJ Parcels are proud sponsors of the Eldar Sim GR3 JTCC. So I will go through the points from last week. So first place is Craig Thomas. Craig's had 2 race wins this season. He's on 118 points. Then you've got Lee Fitzy, his cousin, on 216, well, 116 rather. So Craig's on 118 and then Lee's on 116. So there is 2 points in it. There is basically quite a bit of a close battle, because not only have you got Craig Thomas and also Lee Fitzy, you have Adam Morgan, who lost a bit of control just a moment ago. He's on 113. Then you have Chris Wheatley, who's currently on screen. He's on 95. Then Brian Moncani on 92. Brian actually did very well in the NSXs, I believe, from what he was saying over the week, over last week should I say, that, you know, he was timing and got his calculator out to exactly time how long his pit stop. So Brian is on 92. I believe he's not here as of yet, but he should be. Then you got Brian Ross, the series host. That is, where is he? He's here. He's on 78. So it's going to be very interesting to see what he can do in that claret and blue Supra. Then you have Stu Shelton in the green and white Supra. He's on 74. They have Dean Atkinson, there he is, in that Lexus, the Soul Lexus RCF. He's on 68. So it's going to be very interesting to see what he can do within the Lexus here. The tyres may be a key factor here, especially the fuel as well, because the track in some places, like going down into Seaside Hairpin, where Dean is going now, he's obviously it's going to be very interesting because it does go narrow in some places. So then we have Dan Cope on. Dan's here, he's on 48. Then you have Nathan John on a Fletch on 36. Then you have Bruno Patika in the NSX, the other one, the white machine, on 34. Then Steve Stone on 26. Then you have Excalibur, aka Nathan Rombout, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I do apologise if it gets wrong. Then you have Neil Hall, who sadly isn't going to be returning for for the rest of the season. He's on 16. They have Phil Wilson. Unfortunately, Phil Wilson, I don't think he's doing exactly the same. He's on 10 points, and then obviously you have myself, but I've decided to call it a time in racing. I'm currently sat on 8 points, but the new guys that will potentially overtake me when they get new points. But at the moment, we'll go through some exciting times ahead for the Elder Sim racing. So yes, it is going to be very interesting round here. We'll go on board with Dean's Lexus for the time being. I believe qualifying is going to get underway very shortly, and it is going to be very, very close to see exactly what happens. It will be very close indeed to see exactly what happens as Stu gets it crossed up coming out of that tight and twisty bit. So what is going to happen here at Dragon Trails? Well, as anything goes by the last couple of rounds, it should be probably one of the closest battles we have seen. So anything can happen. Yeah, I'm just checking that I'm heard on stream, so don't worry about that. And yes, we are going to be very close to I think it's 10 minute qualifying. No super softs because they've now been abolished, and it's now down to softs, mediums and hards. You can start on any compound, but you must do them for at least 10-minute stints each time until it gets towards the end of the race, and then obviously you just go for whatever compound. So obviously if you start on, let's say, the mediums, you have a choice with the softs or so you could go on either so you could either go on the hards or the softs if you're on the mediums, and then vice versa with any of the other compounds. So like the mediums, you could go soft then hards, or like I say, vice versa. But it is going to be very interesting. You know, it is quite an interesting grid. But we do have I believe at the moment, just looking, we've got about 14 drivers, so I believe yet again we'll be near enough at full capacity this evening, so it is going to be very interesting. You got Lee Fitzy there, who is currently setting the pace in practice at the moment, just getting used to probably racing these GR3s around here. They've probably not done it. Some of these guys have raced around here before within the basically they will have a bit of practice. Some of these guys may have raced around here before. I remember commentating on the Porsche Caymans that we did a few seasons ago around here, but it was actually on the reverse layout, and I've raced around here about a few times. It is a good circuit. It can be one for the tyres to technically go off. It all depends on the skill of the driver, and it all depends on certain other bits and pieces, but excuse me as I cough down everyone's ear. But it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what happens. So we do have Lee Fitzy, then we have Adam Morgan, followed by Chris Wheatley, and we have Fast Portuguese, I believe he's here, Craig Thomas in that beautiful stickered up Supra. He's probably going to be gunning for another win. He's obviously after a few things. I'm not going to say anything's gone wrong on this season. I think he's just had a few general bits and pieces, whereas you know, there's certain people, but he's got green rims on this evening. He likes to obviously change the colour of his rims, so it'd be very interesting. Then you have Stu Shelton on will be very interesting. He's at the moment sort of around. Then you have Dean Atkinson in that Lexus, as I say. Then you have Brian Moncani, and then obviously Excalibur. So you have the two Belgians, you have Fast Portuguese, obviously a bit different livery from last week, so that's going to look really interesting. Then you have the other NSX. I believe that's kind of still the same livery from last week. Brian Ross, and then you have Nate John and the rest of the field. But at the moment round here it's going to be very tight, especially going into the double left. Double left after going under the bridge, it can be quite one of them, but anything can happen. So let's see exactly what will go on. So we are near enough approaching qualifying. I believe qualifying actually does start at 8 o'clock, so we've got 9 minutes to go. But looking at what is going on at the moment, Chris Wheatley, I don't know whether he's got any issues at the moment. Seems to me the VGT at the moment he's now moving, but it seemed to me that he was going to be a bit slow. Then you have Ollie there in that NSX, so it's going to be very interesting. And obviously the other NSXs, there's 3 NSXs, there's 1 Lexus, and the rest are either VGTs or VGTs. So the penalty has to be taken by on the start finish line before start the finish line, so that'll be very interesting to see exactly what these guys can do. Well, as I was saying, most of the cars are Supras and VGTs, and you do have the 3 NSXs, and then you also have a sold Lexus RCF. So there is a variety of cars, but most of the field are running the VGTs as well as the Supra. Supra itself, we'll go on board with Craig Thomas's Supra. We're on board with Craig going through this chicane. As you can tell with this Supra, it is one of them. It is quite a nice car, but you've got to open up the taps very carefully, because it can spit yourself round, which I've noticed when I've raced it and tested it. But you know, if you've got the power to rate ratio, you know, it will be even better. You've got Steve Stones just ahead of him in the VGT, which is kind of like the Supra, but it has a different we'll go on board with that we'll go on board with the VGT of Steve Stones as he gets it crossed up. That's not exactly what I wanted when I was going on board. Penalty zone 2 is down the back straight, so the braking zone is obviously down the back straight. So we've got 2 minutes to go till qualifying, so that is going to be interesting. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see exactly what happens. So it will be very interesting. We're just on board with that VGT as these don't. So yeah, it should be good. We should be good to go for qualifying. Qualifying will last 10 minutes and then we will get into the 50-minute race. The race is normally quite interesting because the pit stop strategies come into a major factor, and also there is certain ways. But looking at the conditions at the circuit at the moment, it is cloudy, so it may be slightly interesting. Dan Cope had obviously a bit of a adjustment to racing in this, where we're about to get going. So let's see what happens here at Dragon Trail Gardens. First round, fun enough, was at Seaside, so we are now at the beautiful garden circuit, so on the other side of the Seaside. So we are getting ready for qualifying. There'll be a few guys that will probably wait a bit, so there is 15 drivers this evening, so Craig Thomas will lead them out for the outlaps. The outlaps are good, so you can just get a feel for the circuit and also get exactly why we are here. So it will be very close, the Lexus at the moment. But it is going to be very close, I believe, at the moment though. From Steve Stones and of course Excalibur are still in the pit lane. So that's going to be very interesting. I believe they're going to be the only ones at the moment that are not going to be setting a lap. I believe they will be going out now. Excuse me, you're done. Everyone's here. Yeah. So you've got Excalibur staying in pit lane at the moment. We've got 8 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. So yeah, as I say guys, it will be very interesting. Some of the guys are probably going to pit because they want to get onto the starting tyre that they will be using for this evening, and we'll go through each and every single driver as the times come through for qualifying. So yeah, sit back, have a drink and have something to eat, and also enjoy beautiful sounds and obviously amazing commentary by myself, Hoppers, doing the comms for this evening. So it will be very interesting. Can Craig Thomas get another victory? Hopefully, you know, he's trying to work extremely hard to try and get that Supra back onto the top step. It's been so close, but championship has been quite easy for the Welshman since first time out at Dragon Trail Seaside for the opening round. Excuse me, and then did the double at Interlagos. So it's going to be very interesting. These cousin Lee Fitzy at the moment second, also second in the table. So the championship is going to be hotting up. You've got Dan Cope sort of taking Chris Wheatley for third at the moment, but they will be going on to get their qualifying times any moment. So Craig Thomas does a 1:30.7, Lee Fitzy with a 1:30.9, so that's going to be very interesting. So you still have Dan Cope with 1:33.4, Chris Wheatley up into third with 1:32.3, and Ollie with 1:32. Fast Portuguese were on 32.12, so that's pushed him up a bit. Adam Morgan pushed himself up into third with 131.0335, so Adam does a stellar job in qualifying. Seems to me at the moment though, Excalibur has come out of pit lane, so with 6 minutes on the clock, so it is looking likely that the times are going to probably come tumbling down very slowly, but you know, anything can happen. Brian Montgani at the moment with a 1:32.7, so that's going to be very interesting to see what the NSX can do. I don't know exactly how the cars are going to feel this evening because, you know, as I say, it is down to the strategy and it is down to the driver as well. So we've got 5.5 minutes to go in qualifying. This is I believe this is round number 6 of the championship. Is it round number 6? Yes, it'll be round number 6 of the championship. And Steve Stones with a 1:32.8. Craig Thomas goes even faster with 1:30.5 there, so you know the Supra is gunning it at the moment. Lee Fitzy also there, and then you got Adam Morgan. So the Supras are looking feisty at the moment, and no, it is not touring car star Adam Morgan. It is the Welsh Adam Morgan, obviously his namesake. And Dean Atkinson with a 1:32.0, Dan Cope with 1:32.5. Stu Shelton up into 5th place with 1:31.4. Bruno Batica up into 4th with 1:31.2, so that's going to be very interesting. Nate Fletch with a 1:32.560. Brian Ross up into 6th now with a 1:31.678. And then Brian Montgani, where has that put him? That's 1:32.4. So that's put him 10th at the moment. Chris Wheatley with a penalty seems to be on a massive charge, but Brian Montgani at the moment, driver 2, is one of the 2 driver of the days at Mugabe last week. Is doing a stellar job. I do apologise, we've got a comment on the stream. I just want to double check that. Lee Fitzy with 1:30.704, so that's going to be very interesting. As I say, it's going to be very interesting. Good evening, Kim. Thank you very much. I will pass that on to the lads. But yes, it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what will happen. So Dean Atkinson up into 8th though with a 1:31.8. So it's going to be very interesting. Stu Shelton, where that put him 5th fastest at the moment with a 1:31.424. So it is going to be very interesting. So yes, we do have quite some. We do have Belgium following. So it's going to be very interesting. Excalibur with a 1:32.3. Brian up into now 8th with a 1:31.706. So it's looking likely at the moment. Excalibur is 11th at the moment with 2.5 minutes to go. Dan Cope with a penalty there. Flashing the lights, I don't know if he's just flashing it or his controller or his wheels playing up. Nate Fletch at the back of the field at the moment in that Supra. He's obviously struggling around here at the moment. As Steve Stones in that BGT, obviously suffering as well a bit. But at the moment, we've got Ollie with a 1:32.063. Steve Stones with 1:32.168. Sorry, I do apologise. And when I flip the camera, I do apologise for that as well. Chris Wheatley up into 3rd now. He's got the toe of Dan Cope with 1:31.010. So we do have 1 minute and 40 seconds to go. So it's going to be very interesting indeed. Excuse me. Fast Portuguese with a 1:32.1. That's pushed him up into 12th. Excalibur 13th, Dan Cope 14th, and Nate Fletch now 15th, sadly. Craig Thomas still doing a stellar job in that Super. He probably wants to get a better start than, I believe he got a bit of a stellar start last week, but then slightly bogged down. But it will be very interesting with a minute to go in qualifying. Qualifying, you know, is very crucial, and it can be one of them. I hope you guys can hear me all good here on the stream. If you can, please let me know, or if you can't, do let me know. But yeah, it should be very good. Hopefully a good night of racing. So we do have the two cousins at the moment, first and second on the grid. What's Craig going to do this lap? Is he going to improve? He's going for it. Nah, sadly not. Never mind. He's done a good job to keep the pop car in pole position at the moment. Lee Fitzy going through that chicane, twisty bit called the gooseneck from the Porsche Cayman era. So he's got Ollie in front of him. Stu Shelton up into fourth now with a 131.014. So that Supra is getting closer. Bruno Batica now up into third. Where did that lap time come from? But what a stellar lap from the Portuguese driver with a 130.865. So qualifying now is over. So the guys that are already on, oh, Lee Fitzy gets, oh, he's got it all wrong there. Hops over the grass. So that's abandoned his lap time for qualifying. That's a bit unfortunate. Craig Thomas didn't improve that time, but Bruno Batica to get third at the moment. The reigning MX5 champion on a Friday night. Chris Wheatley at the moment, what's he going to be doing? Let's have a look. We do have let's have a look here. So what's he going to do? Is he going to split them? Oh, he does split Lee Fitzy and Craig Thomas with a 130.650. So that was Lee's mistake, though, from what we've seen when he hopped and scraped the wall, has cost him dearly. I believe some of the guys are going to be just ready for the race. Brian Montgani in 8th. So qualifying has now finished for these guys. So it's going to be very interesting indeed. Nate Fletch, unfortunately, at the tail of the field at the moment, but who knows, anything can happen. Qualifying has now ended. So it's Craig from Chris, followed by Lee Fitzy. So the two cousins are split by a VGT. And we are getting ready for 50 minutes of the race. Craig Thomas there alongside Chris Wheatley, followed by Lee Fitzy. Bruno Batica now 4th, and Stu Shelton, followed by Adam Morgan, Brian Ross and Brian Moncani. We are getting ready for a decent night of racing. The 50 minutes are about to start, and the lights are about to turn to green any moment now. So who's going to get a good start into turn number 1? It looks like from the back of the field at the moment that I believe that is Ollie up into 5th place at the moment in that NSX. It looks like the rest of the field were caught napping. He's up into, no, he's now 6th, but he's getting swamped by the guys holders contact. Bruno Batica, Fast Portuguese and Dan Cope are involved. Can we see exactly what happened before? Did he lose it? Oh, it looked like Brian Moncani and Bruno Batica had a bit of contact there, but at the moment Chris Wheatley now leads the race. There is a bit of a while to go. We are still a minute old into this race, and it looks like Adam Morgan and of course Ollie in that NSX there trying to push on to Adam Morgan at the moment. Stu Shelton in 6th place, followed by Dean Atkinson, followed by Steve Stones, followed by Brian Ross, and of course Excalibur. So the 2 Belgians as well as Brian are pushing on. Nate Fletch in 12th, followed by Dan Cope and Bruno Batica, and Fast Portuguese at the rear of the field. But going to the front of the field, it looks like Craig Thomas is going to try and latch onto the back of Chris Wheatley. We'll go on board with Craig Thomas just for a few moments or two. He's got that. Is he going to get that move done? Chris breaks a bit late into turn number 1. Craig's on the curb trying to get through into Pirelli, but he's going to have to be very careful because he's now coming up to Gooseneck. And yes, it is going to be very close. We'll see exactly what happens. Lee Fitzy there, but going back. Oh, Chris Wheatley spun. He has spun, so that has cost him. Did he get it on the curb though? Did he get it on the curb, or did he just... It's going to be very interesting. Got Stu Shelton trying to battle with Ollie for 4th place at the moment. Stu gets that move done, but Ollie fights back. Dean Atkinson there, also there. Brian Moncani now is in 7th. Chris Wheatley now 8th, followed by Excalibur, followed by Nate Fletch, followed by Steve, Dan Cope, Bruno Batica, Brian Ross 14th, and Fast Portuguese 15th. But at the moment, the 2 cousins now, Craig Thomas leads his cousin Lee Fitzy along the way, but this is going to be very close. I'll tell you what is going on tonight. It seems to me there's battles galore, but it looks like at the moment there is kind of going to be a bit of a battle. I'm looking further back now because not only have you got Excalibur 9th, but you've got Nate Fletch in 10th and Steve behind him, followed by Dan Cope. So Dan Cope in that other VGT, the blue and white machine, chasing down the other VGT is Steve Stones at the moment. So it's going to be very interesting going into Pirelli for the 3rd time. It's looking likely that Bruno Batica is going to be under threat from Brian Ross. Brian Ross is going to try and overtake him into Pirelli turn. Yes, he does. So Bruno Batica now drops down to 14th. Fast Portuguese in 15th. We're going to see what's happening further back at the moment. Have we got a battle on our hands? We probably will have. We've got Brian Moncani to have a look at Dean Atkinson at the moment. We'll see what the NSX can do. The brightly coloured NSX getting alongside along the outside of Dean Atkinson. It gives Dean a bit of a shove into the hairpin. Dean's not going to like that, so Brian Moncani picks up another place. And Dean Atkinson's going to be on another stellar charge. He's obviously going to be wanting to prove a point with that Lexus with 45.5 minutes to go. He's also got to be careful because Chris Wheatley is behind him. Looks like the Lexus and the NSX and the VGT are going to have a bit of a battle. It's going to be very close, I'll tell you this. We do have Dean Atkinson trying to go the inside. Looks like Brian Moncani's got that line covered though. But going back to looking further ahead, but we'll look at Chris Wheatley. Don't know what exactly happened, but you know, he looked like he span, but looks to me that Chris Wheatley's now going to have to get back up into that position. Steve Stones with a penalty. Dan Cope there in that other VGT. He's got past Steve with ease, so his next target is Nate Fletch. He's going for that move. That was a bit rash, but you know, fair play. But you had the move done, but you know, a bit of contact. Brian Ross 13th, Bruno Batica sadly 14th at the moment, Fast Portuguese 15th. But go back up to the front of the field, the 2 cousins are going to be very interesting to see exactly what happens. So Craig Thomas now leads with 44 minutes to go. It's going to be very interesting because the tyre factor is going to come very shortly. Adam Morgan third, followed by Stu Shelton and Ollie and Brian Moncatney. Look at Brian go in that NSX. He's already escaped from Dean Atkinson, so he's looking very interesting. So the NSX versus NSX battle, and you also have the Super battle for first and second. And Dean Atkinson and Chris Wheatley just looking at them slightly. Excalibur and I believe Dan Cope were almost having a bit of a battle. Looks like Chris Wheatley at the moment in that VGT is suffering. I don't know whether he's suffering just with the balance, or is he just pushing too hard. But looking at Brian Moncani, he's under threat from Ollie at the moment. It's going to be very interesting because the NSXs, they are quick cars, as we saw last time out at Kyoto for the round previous, and it's looking likely at the moment that NSX, oh, he's got a bit crossed up, which is allowed excuse me, allowed Brian Moncani to try and take the outside, but it looks like Brian's got the outside there. He's going to have the inside if he keeps that line. Oh, bit of contact. So that's allowed Brian Moncani into 5th place. So it looks like that Ollie now drops down into 6th. Chris Wheatley up into 7th. With Dean Atkinson sadly in that Lexus now dropping back a bit. Dan Cope in 9th, followed by Excalibur, followed by Steve Stones and Nate Fletch. Nate Fletch on a massive charge. Brian Ross and Bruno Batica, they know each other quite well from racing in the, I believe, the NSX League, so very interesting. And Fast Portuguese 15th at the moment. Craig Thomas at the moment though trying to extend that lead from his cousin, but it looks like that Lee Fitzy's going to get him shortly. Adam Morgan 3rd, followed by Stu Shelton and Brian Moncani. Chris Wheatley now up into 6th. He's actually on a mission after his spin earlier on. That spin earlier on probably wouldn't have helped him, and it probably would have been not helped if Craig Thomas hasn't got alongside him, but you know, these things do happen. He's got Ollie behind him in the NSX, so the NSXs are going strong at the moment. Well, I can really see exactly what they're going to do, but it looks like that Ollie's going to try and get it. Dean Atkinson in 8th, followed by Dan Cope, followed by Excalibur. Nate Fletch and Steve Stones having a bit of a battle. That's going to be interesting come the next lap or so. So you've got the VGT versus the Supra. So the Supra go on board with Steve Stones trying to chase down Nath John for 11th place at the moment. So we've got 40.5 minutes to go. Nath Fletch, oh, he's considered Steve Stones to get past, I believe. But Bruno Batica and Brian Ross are still battling. Fast Portuguese 15th. But what is happening, because the gap between Craig Thomas and Lee Fitzy is considerably coming down. It looks to me at the moment with 40 minutes, near enough 40 minutes to go, it's going to be very close. You do have Lee Fitzy there, 2nd, Adam Morgan 3rd. Stu Shelton now though, under threat from Brian Moncani in that Honda NSX. It is going to be very close. But looking at the lap times, 132.8 and 130.9. So Brian Moncani gets a bit crossed up. He's got Stu Shelton on the inside. Stu kicks up a bit of dirt though, going into that double hairpin here. He's got to be careful because Brian Moncani is kicking up a lot of dirt, which is going to cost him a bit of time. But Stu Shelton at the moment has got that NSX way behind. Well, not way behind, but sort of back into that bumper zone. So we've got a very interesting battle going on for 4th place at the moment. I'll try and see exactly what's going on around the track, but at the moment Brian Moncani doing a stellar job trying to get Stu Shelton, but it's gone a bit wide there out of Pirelli towards the gooseneck. So it's going to be very interesting. These guys are going to be obviously pushing to the absolute extreme. As Brian Moncani nearly loses control, Craig and Lee are still battling, but Lee's not that close at the moment. Stu's trying to get away from that NSX. He looks like he got a bit crossed up there, which is allowed Brian to get alongside, which it does, but Stu's horse, I thought Stu was going to get him, but it looks like at the moment Chris Wheatley also in the VGT, just looking at the green, white and red VGT, the Welsh style delivery, trying to push on there. You've got Ollie in 7th, followed by Dean Atkinson, Dan Cope 9th now, Excalibur 10th, followed by Steve Stones, and of course Nate Fletch, followed by Brian Ross and Bruno Batica and Fast Portuguese at the rear of the field. But looking what's going on here, Chris Wheatley trying to push on for another sort of another position. He's got that Supra ahead of him as we go into Pirelli for the 9th time. It's going to be very close, but looking what is happening with this battle, I'm just keeping an eye on this battle at the moment, because this is probably one of the closest ones we've got at the moment. But we do have 37 minutes to go. It's going to be probably close to see what happens. So we do have 37 minutes to go, yes. And then we have Chris Wheatley, just as I mentioned, we'll go on board with the VGT for a moment. Try to chase down the Supra. Excuse me. Try to chase down the Supra, and it will be very interesting to see exactly what he can do. There we go. So it's going to be very close to see what will happen. Dean Atkinson up into 7th and Ollie 8th, Dan Cope 9th, followed by Excalibur running a bit wide there in the 66 Supra. Steve Stone's now under threat from Nath John yet again. So Nath John in that Supra is going to put the VGT under considerable amount of pressure with 36 minutes to go. Don't think many people are jumping into pit lane as of yet. I think they're just trying to do a bit of longer stints, but it seems to me that it's going to be very interesting. But we do have Brian Ross 13th, Bruno Batica 14th. Saying that, he's the first one of the runners to pit, Fast Portuguese at the rear of the field. But at the moment, Stu Shelton under considerable amount of threat from Chris Wheatley. That Supra and VGT battle. There is one here as Chris Wheatley gets that move into Seaside Hairpin. So it's going to be very interesting going through the double R right here at the moment. It's going to be very close and probably personal. But going into the double hairpin very shortly could end up opening the taps as we go down the hill into that double hairpin here. It's going to be very close, and we see Craig Thomas here pushing on quite a bit to try and get his get away from his cousin Lee Fitzy. So yeah, Adam Morgan at the moment 3rd. Then you got Brian Moncani in 4th, followed by Chris Wheatley and Stu, followed by Dean Atkinson, and of course Ollie there potentially trying to push on. Dan Cope doing exactly the same, trying to get away from Excalibur, and Steve Stones now has Brian Ross for company, because I believe Nate Fletch has dropped back to 13th, yes he has, and Bruno Batica 14th, and Fast Portuguese also did go into pit lane. So there is 2 of the cars that have made a pit stop but going up to Chris Wheatley, he wants to try and make amends for that spin out on, I think it was lap 2. He made that, tried to make a move on, tried to get away from Craig Thomas, but I believe the curbs just got the better of him and decided access denied. So, you know, Stu Shelton behind, but looking what Brian Moncani can do. He got joint driver today at Kyoto last time out, so we do have 33.5 minutes to go. It is going to be very close, and it probably will be one of the closest battles to date. We do have a few guys almost neck and neck, but looking at Steve Stones and Brian Ross. Brian Ross trying to get a massive charge onto Steve Stones at the moment. We'll try and go through exactly what everyone runs, but it's very interesting at the moment. It looks like Steve Stones may be heading for the pit lane this lap. I believe someone else has jumped into pit lane. There's a few guys that look like they're jumping into pit lane. Dean Atkinson is the first, so it's Dan Cope, and the Steve Stones will be doing exactly the same with just under 33 minutes to go now. So Steve Stones will jump down to the field. It'll be interesting to see what these guys can come out on. Bruno Boutique 14th at the moment, and Fast Portuguese 15th. Going back to the battle at the moment between Chris Wheatley and Brian Moncani, going into Seaside Hairpin. Chris Wheatley makes the move. Has he got it done? Yes, he has. He got to be careful not to get it loose on those curbs anymore. But it's going to be very close. Both kick with a bit of dirt. But Chris Wheatley has a bit of a dirt on his tyres there. He's up into 4th now. We have 32 minutes to go, so it's going to be very close. We do have some quite interesting tyre strategies just while we're looking. Dean Atkinson on the hards with a bit of fuel on board. Craig Thomas now jumps into pit lane. Dean gets that Lexus a bit loose out of Seaside Hairpin. Dan Cope on the mediums and a full tank. And I believe Steve Stone's racing hard and a full tank of fuel. So we do have Lee Fitzy now leading the race. There'll be Stu and Brian also jumping to pit lane, so that is very interesting indeed. So that's allowed Ollie up into 4th, so Ollie will be pushing for a good result. So it looks like the NSXs are suiting this circuit at the moment. We'll see exactly. Excalibur jumps into pit lane as well, still putting fuel in Brian Moncani. What happened to Brian Ross going out of the final turn? Oh, he's just lost it. He's lost it there. Brian Ross, the series organiser for the championship, so he's going to have to repair his damage as well. So he's got to. It's going to be very interesting because Dan Cope at the moment coming in 10th place. At the moment, he's going to be very close. We do have some of these guys making pit stops. Lee Fitzy at the moment going to be pushing on. He's going to be pitting this time round, I believe. Adam Morgan will be doing the same. Chris Wheatley will probably do the same. Craig Thomas though, what about this? 5th, out in 5th place at the moment in that 69 Toyota Supra. He's got he does have Ollie for company though, the NSX there, and Lee Fitzy, as I predicted, into pit lane. I believe Adam Morgan does exactly the same, and Chris Wheatley now doing exactly the same as well. So it looks like that Craig may get his lead back. Well, he's got a good move. He's got a good run on Ollie for 1st place going down the start-finish line. Looks like the NSX and Toyota battle will resume yet again. So that's very close. I believe that was Lee Fitzy coming out in 3rd as they put fuel in Chris Wheatley's VGT. Adam Morgan in the hard and a quarter of a tank topped up. We've got 30 minutes to go, so it's going to be very close. We've got Stu Shelton, followed by Brian Moncani, followed by Dean Atkinson Excalibur and Dan Cope and Bruno Batica, and of course Nate Fletch and Steve Stones. Fast Portuguese now 14th and Brian Ross 15th with 29 minutes on the clock. So Craig Thomas at the moment though, stellar man, the Welsh wonder kid as I'm going to call him. He's actually, you know, believe it or not, he's doing fantastically though. Lee Fitzy in second, followed by Ollie, but Ollie will have to pit this lap though. He does not want to run out of fuel in that NSX. It's not, oh, he gets a bit loosey-goosey there, you know. Well, it'd be very interesting to see exactly what he can do. So coming up to near enough the halfway point of the race now, it's going to be very excuse me, it's going to be very close between these guys. So Adam Morgan will probably jump up into fourth now that Ollie jumps into pit lane. Chris Wheatley fifth. Stu Shelton will be now fifth because Ollie is in pit lane. Brian Moncani in that NSX will be up into sixth place. Dean Atkinson 7th, Dan Cope will be, oh, Bruno Batica up into 10th, Excalibur in 10th now. I do apologise, yeah, because of where Ollie comes out. Ollie comes out in 11th, Nate Fletch 12th, followed by Steve Stones and Fast Portuguese and Brian Ross. Craig Thomas at the moment, we have 27 minutes to go. It's going to be very close. We do have the Supras leading the way from VGT. So VGT and Supra, followed by NSX and Lexus, going into Seaside hairpin here. Dean Atkinson trying to chase down that brightly coloured NSX of Brian Moncani. Excuse me, at the moment, Dan Cope and Bruno Batica. So Bruno Batica has got 9th place back at the moment. Excalibur 10th, followed by Ollie there within Nate Fletch and Steve Stones, followed by Fast Portuguese, unfortunately has a penalty. Brian Ross going into Seaside at the moment. But looking at what is going on with 26.5 minutes to go, it seems to me though we've got a bit of a battle between Dean Atkinson and Brian Moncani. So the NSX and Lexus are going to have a bit of a battle. This could be very interesting. This could be very close indeed for these guys. As I say, anything can happen this evening. You've got the Lexus alongside the NSX going into Pirelli, who's going to have the brake in. Looks like Brian Moncani has a bit of brake. He put the brakes on. He's going to lose a bit of ground. No, he's not, because Dean Atkinson has dropped back a bit there. He's gonna be close. But looking at that Lexus, it looks a bit tail happy at the moment on them racing hards. Dan Cope in 8th place at the moment, followed by Bruno Batica and followed by Excalibur, and of course Ollie there, Nate Fletch and Steve Stones. Steve Stones trying to get past in that VGT. It looks to me that VGT has got the power at the moment, going down into Seaside hairpin. So it's 25 minutes to go. Fast Portuguese and Brian Ross at the tail of the field. Looks to me though, Dean Atkinson now has got past Brian Moncani for 6th place rather. Can we check how he did it? Or have we missed it? Yeah, we've already missed it. I do apologise, guys. But yes, Dean Atkinson in that Lexus in 6th place at the moment. Brian Moncani 7th now. And Bruno Batica, oh, nearly had Dan Cope's rear quarter there, but it looks like the Supra, well, not VGT versus NSX battle. This could be another battle that could open up the eyes of the adoring fans that are enjoying the racing at the moment. It looks like Bruno Batica is going to be pushing Dan Cope all the way to try and get past that VGT, that NSX, the white NSX. Oh, he got a bit crossed up there, but is he got Dan Cope? Dan Cope's still flashing the lights there. Obviously Excalibur and Ollie. So the Belgian versus the Portuguese guy. So obviously these guys are new to the series, but they are pushing on. They're putting on a very good show for the fans, as I say. So you got Seaside hairpin here. Can be very tricky. That grandstand is very full. But Steve Stone's in 12th, Dave Fletch 13th from Fast Portuguese and Brian Ross at the moment. But going back to the battle between Dan Cope and Bruno Batica, because it is probably the only closest battle we've got to at the moment going on. It looks to me that we do have a bit of an interesting battle between these guys at the moment. It's going to be very close because we've got 23 minutes to go in this race. Well, it's 23 minutes. We've got Bruno Batica trying to make that move. Dan Cope there in that VGT really is closing the door every time Bruno tries to put that NSX into the rear quarter of that VGT. That VGT squirming down the front straight. Bruno Batica tries to make has a bit of contact into Pirelli, but Dan Cope has to now concede 8th place from Bruno Batica. Oh, he's crossed it up. Oh, that's a bit of a shame. He's lost ground there. He's actually lost ground. Let's see exactly what happened. Did he just get it loose, or was it just a bit of pushing too hard? Yeah, it was. And Dan Cope was also there, which is a bit of a shame. But looking back, we've got Excalibur and Ollie at the moment trying to battle for 7th place at the moment. This is another battle, the Supra versus NSX battle. So it looks like these guys are going to have a bit of a disco, should I say. But it'll be very interesting. With just under 22 minutes to go. Ollie's going to try and make a move on Excalibur going down towards the hill, but Excalibur does have the hairpin covered, but Ollie is also there. The NSX is alongside. He actually gets the move done, but Excalibur is going to fight back, probably at the double left-hand bend. excuse me. We do have Excalibur in 11th, Brian Steve Stones and Dave Fletch 12th and 13th, Fast Portuguese 14th, followed by Brian Ross, and then Lee Fitzy and Craig Thomas out in front at the moment. This is going to be very close. Adam Morgan in 3rd, followed by Stu Shelton, followed by Chris Wheatley, followed by Dean Atkinson, and then Brian Moncani. With 21 minutes to go in this race, this is going to be very close. But we do have Bruno Batica 9th, sadly lost a bit of ground to Dan Cope now. We got Ollie still in 10th, and Excalibur in 11th, Steve Stones and Nath John. Nath John gets a bit loose out at Gooseneck. And then Fast Portuguese, oh, sounds to me them tyres are getting shot. Brian Ross at the moment doing so well on the hards. He's obviously got less wear than that VGT in front of him. But what is going to happen? Because Adam Morgan in 3rd place is obviously a bit from Craig Thomas and Lee Fitzy. But I'm going to try and find a bit of a battle. But at the moment it's so hard to pick, because now they're all spread out slightly. But this is a battle for 14th at the moment. Fast Portuguese and Brian Ross. Brian Ross looked like he lost it, but obviously he didn't. But Fast Portuguese in that VGT there, trying to push on and trying to get away from that Supra. So the Supra trying to chase down that VGT. The VGTs look at the moment, they look like they've either struggled here or they are just trying. Dean Atkinson now has dropped a few places because he's now in pit lane. Same with Excalibur and Steve Stones, but it will be very interesting to see exactly what they come out with. So Dean Atkinson out on the softs and a full tank of fuel with 19 minutes to go. Excalibur trying to figure out exactly what he will come out on. Racing mediums, full tank. And Steve Stones is still in pit lane. What is he going to do? Softs and a full tank with 19 minutes to go. So it is looking likely the guys that have just pitted, unfortunately, will probably be a lap down. Craig Thomas at the moment on mediums. Same with Lee Fitzy and Adam Morgan on the mediums, but slowly running out of fuel. Is he going to go for another lap? He's going to go for another lap. He knows the strategy here. Stu Shelton jumps into pit lane. Chris Wheatley probably will do the same. Yes, he will. So it's going to be interesting what they can come out on. Brian McCartney, though, jumping into pit lane. That's allowed Dan Cope up into 7th, or now 4th, should I say. Bruno Batica, yeah, that'll push him up. That'll push him up to 5th place. And of course, Ollie up into, where would that push him? That's pushed him up into 6th place at the moment, so that's good going. Chris Wheatley there. Stu Shelton out on full tank of fuel. Dean Atkinson there. Softs and full tank. Brian Moncani full tank, and on the mediums, Fast Portuguese now 11th. Brian Ross now jumping into pit lane. Dave Fletch also in pit lane. Excalibur on the mediums and was on the full tank. So yeah, it's going to be very excuse me. It'll be very interesting. Steve Stones softs. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting indeed. But it is going to be probably... Oh, there's a bit of a battle between Chris Wheatley and Dean Atkinson going into Seaside Hairpin. But I believe these guys have... I believe Dean's got his tyres up into ultimate running temperature. Chris Wheatley gets a bit crossed up again. We have 17 minutes to go. So Adam Morgan now into pit lane. Craig Thomas and Lee Fitzy. The two cousins are Nate Fletch gets out the way, very nicely done. Craig Thomas there in that Supra, obviously trying to push on quite a bit for a bit more time. But, oh, was that Nate Fletch? Yes, it was, I believe. Or was it Lee Fitzy? Let's have a look. Missed it. Yeah, again. But Craig Thomas, the Welshman here, trying to do a stellar job. Steve Stones, unfortunately, a lap down. But what is going on? Dan Cope is 3rd at the moment. But it looks like Lee Fitzy and Craig Thomas are going to go for another lap with 16 minutes to go. So we will be bringing you a bit more of a battle galore. Adam Morgan 4, followed by Ollie there. So Ollie at the moment in that NSX has done quite a stellar job so far. He's obviously got his strategy. Oh, was that car off, or was it just the camera angle? But it looks like Ollie is now going to try and get past Adam Morgan for 4th place at the moment. So it's going to be very interesting. But Ollie is going to try and make the move, but Adam Morgan defends Dan Cope now into pit lane. So that is going to be very interesting to see exactly what his strategy will be for 15 minutes to go. So the VGT comes to a stop. Stu Shelton in now 5th place. Chris Wheatley will be now 6th. Then Dean Atkinson also behind him, and Brian Moncani also up into 8th place. At the moment, Chris Wheatley doing a stellar job from his bit of a mistake with 14.5 minutes to go. Dean Atkinson there trying to push on. We do have Craig Thomas in pit lane, so that's going to be very interesting. Chris Wheatley gets a bit loose on them curbs again, which has allowed Dean Atkinson up into 6th place. But I will try and allow Dan Cope on the racing hards with a bit of fuel. Bruno Batica still out there. So Lee Fitzy now inherits the lead of the race. Excuse me, Fast Portuguese with 100% fuel on board. Craig Thomas though, is it going to play into his hands because he's got the racing hards as a bit of fuel? But this is going to be close because Adam Morgan now still third from Stu Shelton. Stu's going to go for a move on Ollie. I thought he was going to go for a move. 13.5 minutes to go. It is going to be very close, guys, towards the end. I hope this battle really rages on. And we do have Dean Atkinson in 6th place, followed by Chris Wheatley now, and Brian Moncani 8th. Dan Cope at the moment in 9th place, followed by Bruno Batica in 10th place. Bruno will probably want to, try and end this race on a high after a couple of mistakes. He's going to chase after Dan Cope, though. Dan Cope's not going to be the easiest guy to try and get past, but just looking at it now, going through the gooseneck, Dan Cope has got the still lights flashing at the moment. Bruno Batica though hops the curb, they both hop the curb, but it's going to be very close. So probably explain exactly how the pit strategies do work. But Bruno Batica in that NSX gives Dan Cope a bit of a shove into Seaside Hairpin. But I don't think that was intentional though. Excalibur 11th, Steve Stone 12th, Nate Fletch 13th, Brian Ross 14th, and Fast Portuguese at the tail of the field. But at the moment, should I say, excuse me, Jesus. At the moment, Lee Fitzy eking out that advantage from his cousin, so it's going to be very close. Stu Shelton though has got Ollie in his sights, but it looks like the NSX is going to try and hold on for 11 minutes and 39 seconds to go, so it's going to be very close to see what the Portuguese guy can do here. Stu Shelton having a bit of a battle here with the NSX and the Supra. These guys have actually had a bit of a nice battle this evening, so Stu hops the curb, which has pulled him alongside Ollie 4th place at the moment, which he gets. Chris Wheatley and Dean Atkinson trying to do the same. Bruno Batica now up into 9th, and Dan Cope 10th. I believe Dan Cope now has lost that place. Steve Stone's in 12th, followed by Nate Fletch. Fast Portuguese now 14th, Brian Ross. He's actually lost control again. What has happened to Brian going into the double left? Let's have a look. Oh, it just loses it on the curb. Oh, it's a bit unfortunate. So that's cost him ground. Lee Fitzy now up in, it goes in, well, it came out with the hards and a bit of fuel on board. But you've got 10.5 minutes to go. Craig Thomas inherits the race lead yet again, going into gooseneck. Adam Morgan 3rd with Stu and of course Ollie, followed by Dean Atkinson and Chris Wheatley. Brian Moncani in 8th, followed by Bruno Batica 9th and Dan Cope, followed by Excalibur's had a bit of an issue. Steve Stone's in 11th. What's happened to Excalibur? Oh, he's just lost it going down the hill. Oh, that's a bit unfortunate. But, you know, that does happen occasionally, but never mind, he will pick himself up. Fast Portuguese 14th from Brian Ross in 15th with go up to 9.5 minutes to go. Craig Thomas there at the moment is going to be on course, but any mechanical difficulties or any commentator curse will be on course for his 3rd win of the season. Adam Morgan there pushing on for 3rd place at the moment, so it could be another all-out Welsh podium. Stu Shelton in 4th, followed by Dean Atkinson and Chris Wheatley. Brian Moncani now 7th. Bruno Batica actually 8th place. Dancope 9th. Oh, looks like Ollie's having a bit of a nightmare now. He's on his out lap going into Seaside Hairpin. Let's just see what happened. Yeah, he's just getting a bit crossed up there. The tyres are up to the temperature because he's on his out lap. Steve Stone's 11th, Nathan Fletch 12th. It's Nathan Rombat on in 13th, followed by Fast Portuguese and Brian Ross. But Craig Thomas at the moment going into Seaside Hairpin for the 27th time. He's going to be pushing on quite a bit for 8.5 minutes. That's super. Obviously he's working magic round here at the moment. Stu Shelton trying to catch up to Adam Morgan going into Gooseneck. He hops the curb there, so it's going to be very close and personal. Dean Atkinson 5th, followed by Chris Wheatley and of course Brian Moncani, followed by Bruno Batika. With 8 minutes to go. Dan Cope in 9th, followed by Ollie, followed by Steve Stones and Nate Fletch and Excalibur. Fast Portuguese and of course Brian Ross. Brian Ross having a bit of a nightmare this evening. He's trying to unlap himself here, but you know, looks like he's struggling at the moment. Never mind, he will push on. Craig Thomas in exactly first place at the moment. It will be very interesting to see exactly what happens. Lee Fitzy in 2nd still, but Adam Morgan and Stu Shelton. Stu may put Adam Morgan under a bit of pressure come the end of the race with 7 minutes, just going to 7 minutes to go. Dean Atkinson 5th in that Lexus. Chris Wheatley trying to gain up to him very slowly but surely. And Brian Moncani at the moment, along with Bruno Batika. With 7 minutes to go, it will be very interesting to see what these guys can do. Dancope 9th, obviously Ollie 10th, Steve Stones, No Fletch and Excalibur, and Fast Portuguese and Brian Ross. But at the moment, just looking at what is going on, because 6.5 minutes to go. Is the race going to be unfold, or is Craig Thomas just going to take an absolute easy and coast round for the last 6.5 minutes to go? Go on board with the Supra of Craig Thomas going down the front straight here at Dragon Trails. It is looking likely, it is looking likely at the moment though that Craig Thomas is going to want to get a massive victory with 6 minutes to go. It is going to be close. You do have Craig going into the gooseneck. Let's see what goes on. But the battle for 3rd is hotting up. That is right. The battle for 3rd is hotting up between Stu Shelton and Adam Morgan. Adam Morgan looks like he's going to be caught out by Stu Shelton. Stu Shelton tries to make the outside move into Pirelli, who's going to have the inside into the gooseneck. Looks like Stu's got that move done. What a stellar move. What a fantastic move. I like that. So Adam Morgan will not be on the podium unless something happens to Stu. So the Welsh boys are split at the moment. So it's going to be very interesting with 5 minutes to go. Dean Atkinson still trying to hold off Chris Wheatley, but it's going to look very interesting. I'll tell you this now, guys. It has been interesting from start to finish. Brian Moncani and Bruno Batika, 2 NSXs at the moment though, are doing a stellar job. Dan Cope in 9th, as I believe Ollie is going to be trying catching up very shortly. With 4 minutes and 20 seconds. So checker flag does drop here at Dragon Trails Gardens, and it's going to be very interesting To tell you the least, Steve Stone's in 11th, followed by Nate Fletch and Excalibur and Fast Portuguese. Now it looks like Fast Portuguese is going to be trying to catch up to that Supra, the VGT and Supra battle. And the rear of the field is raging. It's going to be very interesting with 4 minutes to go. I tell you, what is going to happen? Fast Portuguese tries to get alongside. It's going to be very close, I'll tell you this now. It's going to be very close. But it is going to be one of them, I'll tell you this. It looks like at the moment Rui is going to try and get onto Nathan. It is going to be probably quite interesting with 3.5 minutes to go, so this could be potentially a very interesting battle. We'll go back to it very shortly, but Craig Thomas at the moment probably will be about to start maybe the final lap of the race. I think they were working out it was going to be 31 laps. Excuse me, so Craig Thomas at the moment will cross the line. It looks like it's going to be very comfortable. But going into that battle, we'll just see the battle when we were going with Craig Thomas. It looks like Fast Portuguese now has Nathan passed. So it was Nate Fletch in 12th, Steve Stone's 11th. Ollie trying to catch up to Dan Kuiper at the moment. It's not happening. Excuse me. What's happened to Bruno Batica? Has he had contact with Brian Moncani? Oh, they've had a bit of... The NSXs have had a bit of contact, but fair play to Bruno Batica actually letting him have that place. But that was a bit unfortunate, the two NSXs coming together. The team driver of the days from Kyoto last week. So it looks like at the moment Brian Moncani is suffering. But Chris Wheatley, he's caught up to Dean Atkinson as we go into the gooseneck for what may look like the penultimate time. It may be the penultimate time, or it may be the final time, which we shall see. But at the moment, Craig Thomas is going to come through the double left to take another lap, so he could probably push on and he will probably take another victory. So he will be going on to the final lap now as we speak. So it's going to be very interesting to see Lee Fitzy will do exactly the same. Stu Shelton and then Adam Morgan. But at the moment we've got 5th place Dean Atkinson followed by Chris Wheatley. So the Lexus and VGT battle is going to be raging on as well. It is going to be looking very interesting, I'll tell you this, it's looking very tasty. So we've got Dean Atkinson now still 5th, followed by Chris Wheatley. And the two NSXs are still battling, so Brian Moncani and Bruno Batica. I believe these two, you know, fair play to them. You know, just a bit of contact, but you know, it probably happened and it wasn't meant to be, so the NSXs are going to be coming across the line, essentially going to be ongoing for another lap. So Chris Wheatley going out of Pirelli, chasing Dean Atkinson down into Gooseneck. It's going to be very interesting indeed with 30 seconds left on the clock. This race has been from start to finish probably interesting, but my driver of the day though, at the moment though, I hate to say it at the moment, well, I don't hate to say it, but you know, at the moment excuse me, at the moment I'm going to say it has to be Dean Atkinson in that Lexus. He's obviously got he's had the pace, but going into Bruno Batica, looks a bit wide, but he's still got that line. And I'll tell you what, just as we were speaking, Craig Thomas actually takes a well-deserved victory. He takes a 3rd victory of the season. I'll tell you what, fair play to Craig. He's actually done very well this evening. He's almost out of fuel as well. So is Lee Fitzy, but well done. Stu Shelton spoils the Welsh podium. So he comes home in 3rd. Adam Morgan in 4th place, followed by, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Dean Atkinson or is it going to be Chris Wheatley? It is going to be Dean Atkinson just by the hair. Bruno Batica and Brian Moncani come through the final 2 turns. So it's like Bruno Batica will take 7th place from Brian Moncani. Almost out of fuel there. Dan Cope, what a stellar drive, 9th place with Ollie behind him. I'll tell you what, been very interesting this evening between all these guys. This is what the championship should be about. Ollie takes 10th place with Nate Fletch in 11th. Fast Portuguese, oh, he's lost a place to Excalibur on the final lap, which is a bit of a shame really. So Nathan Rombat will take 12th place there from Fast Portuguese. And Steve Stones, oh, he's out of fuel. Steve is out of fuel. Oh, what a shame. But he will still finish 14th. And Brian Ross, I believe, 15th. So Craig Thomas, look at the guy. He's got pole position and a clean race as well. To have credit to his well-deserved victory this evening. So I will go through the race results very quickly, and we will also go through a lot of talking points. So I'll get the race results very quickly, and then we'll go. Excuse me. Oh, Jesus. So, in first place is none other than Craig Thomas, followed by Lee Fitzy and Stu Shelton. Adam Morgan, unfortunately, 4th place, so the worst party has kind of been spoilt there. Dean Atkinson now 5th, with Chris Wheatley 6th, after a bit of a really weird evening for some of the guys. Bruno Batica 7th, followed by Brian Moncani in 8th, followed by Dan Cope and I believe Ollie in 10th, Nate Fletch 11th, Excalibur in 12th, followed by Fast Portuguese and Steve Stones, who ran out of fuel and on the last lap, and he didn't get it to the checkered flag either. That's a bit of a shame. Brian Ross a lap down in 15th, but Lee Fitzy takes the fastest lap with a 1:30.7 on lap number 9. So next week, guys, it will be very interesting to see exactly what will happen, but it is going to be very close. I can't wait to see what goes on next week. I believe next week is going to be the penultimate round. It will be very interesting. To see exactly what happens. But it is going to be very close. I'll tell you what, guys, I cannot wait. So until next week, guys, have a good week. We are back as of next Friday. The big new championships. The excuse me, the Toyota Yaris Championship will be taking place. The World Touring Car Supercars, and of course the GT3. World GT3 cars will be in action, so join us then. But I will be in the commentary box next Monday for the penultimate round of the JTCC, and it will be very interesting to see exactly what will happen. So I've been Hoppers. Until next week, guys, take care. Ta-ra.